All right, so just as a reminder, this is the Friday Colburn Agency Builders Call. If you can, make sure your devices are muted. We'll unmute as you guys need to talk and chat. We're going to hopefully be unveiling some good items for building the agency, systemizing some of the agency growth and the tools that we're utilizing. We will be answering a bunch of questions, so if you guys have questions about agency growth, interviews, how do I do this, how do I do that, as far as ZipRecruiter, interviewing, setting expectations, make sure that you're compiling those questions. We're going to do those after I go through some new exciting items that I'm going to unfold for you guys. Let me quickly screen share. And again, this call is designed for anyone that is currently building, or if you intend to build. We've got a new platform that should help systemize people setting up the cold market recruiting. Most of you have seen some of this already from if you go to the training tab here, you'll notice that it will bring you to something like this. It's not our team building, but it is a building tab that most of you have looked at. We have been working on branding and restructuring it specifically for the Colburn Agency or the Colburn Master Agency. That's what I'm going to go through. And hopefully, I believe by the end of the day or the next hour or two, instead of you going to the standard build my page, build my team page, it will go to the Colburn Financial setup. So we'll have that all integrated. So I want to show you guys some of the items when someone comes to you, or if you yourself are thinking about building an agency and you want to get some tools, systems, how do we do it? How is the Colburn Agency growing this as fast as we are, as quick as we are, especially utilizing cold markets? This is the location that we're going to have you guys go through. So all of the tools that we're utilizing can be requested straight from this website. So you'll notice that an individual can go and put their first name, email, phone number. This is for requesting a landing page. This landing page will look something like, I will show you what the landing page looks like. It'll look something like this. You'll notice that it's got some information at the bottom. It's got a video coming soon. We will have a new corporate overview. By the end of this month, we should have our new updated Colburn Agency specific recruiting video that will go here. You'll notice that there's a tab at the bottom that is integrated, and most of you that are using Visita, you're using all these items, already have access to this. So just hang tight if you already know what this is. But you'll notice that when an individual clicks on this on the landing page, if you have a landing page that is synced with Visita, which is what our back office calendar, client, portal, all of those items are integrated, then you get the scheduling option that we have access to. Now, on this page, if you want if you guys can make sure that you're muted so I don't get any extra background noise while we're talking about this, that would be awesome. You are going to be able to have access to landing pages that do not have the integrated syncing option. So if some of you just want, it doesn't cost you anything, if you just want a landing page and there's no syncing, there's no automated linking, you just want to have a page to send people, and then you will manually schedule those interviews because you're using it with warm market or people that are close to you, you'll be able to do that, okay? But this request here is calendar access, calendar requests, what days can you actually recruit on? This is very important here. If you're going to use the calendar share, we have to have the actual email and the password that you guys utilize to get into your account and sync those calendars together. That's the way Visita works, okay? Step 2 in the process is choosing your resources. Now, this website, these resources are under development. We currently only have ZipRecruiter. You'll notice all of these other words say coming soon. We don't want to unroll something until we have it perfected. Okay, we're trying to be very careful that if we're giving you access to something, we know it works, we know it's systemized, we know how it works, we know how to capitalize on it. If you guys are going to invest money in it and you choose to do that and you use our systems correctly, you'll get a return on your investment provided that you use our systems the way we have it. Okay, so currently the only one that we have access to is the ZipRecruiter. Again, guys, if I get background noise, I'm just going to mute you. If you have that happen and you can't talk while we're in this call, use *6 to unmute yourself. All right, so ZipRecruiter is the only one that we have access to. I'll explain that in just a second. We are gradually unfolding some additional training down here. We haven't updated the phone interviews. These phone interviews are done by Brad, Matt, and I think Vlad. Keep in mind, none of them are using our system, okay? So we do interviews a little bit unique, but I think you'll gain some additional extra value in kind of hearing how they add value in the interviews, how they interact with people, how they build excitement, expectations, all of that, okay? You'll see here the cold market system. All of these items that are viewed here as far as training, these are all taken from the Builder's Corner, okay? So you should be able to utilize this training to help you understand how the recruiting works, the systems that we use. There's a part 1, 2, 3 for Visita. There's also a Clear Expectations video. There's a ZipRecruiter 101 that also will help you. Step 3 here is helping you understand the automated management system for Visita, okay? And you'll get access to how to utilize that in order to do those items. Now, I want to go back to this link for ZipRecruiter. This is very important. This is new. Most of you have not seen this yet, okay? So when you click on the ZipRecruiter item, this is vitally important to set up your entire ZipRecruiter process, from ads to all of the syncing items to the bio that goes on our website. Everything that's needed in order to get this started is going to be done through this process. So you've got 4 options. You'll notice we haven't changed. You can choose option 3 or option 3. Okay, we haven't changed that. Beverly's working on this. Okay, she's been working hard on this, and we're tweaking it. I wanted to unveil this to you guys today. I'm excited about it. All of these have a specific plan in mind. Okay, so if you guys are getting started and your purpose is, hey, Mike, I just want to get started. I just want to kind of try the system out. I don't have a specific goal that I'm shooting for from a leadership standpoint or from a growth standpoint. You probably should start with the starter plan. That starter plan is really designed to get you to team leader from a leadership standpoint, okay? Team leader is having 3 agents, including yourself, just contracted. There's no production requirements. It's just getting you, that's just the very first echelon of leadership, okay? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk to everyone about how do you get this money reduced by doing the right things. So step 1 would be just that starter plan. If you guys are shooting for key leader and you want to push towards key leader very quickly, this 10-job slot plan would be probably the most ideal. And again, we've got the descriptions down here of what it means, as well as what you should expect if you use the systems correctly. How many interviews should you expect to get on a weekly basis, okay? 10 to 16. If you're doing 10 job slots, you should get 10 to 16 interviews, qualified interviews every single week. The agency owner plan is a little bit larger investment, but again, if you're pushing for agency owner, and you've got to have a little bit more investment in the system in order to push towards that. Agency owner, I know we've got a couple of people working towards that. The Santos team is working towards that. I know we've got some people on the Clark agency that are pushing towards that in the near future. So this is really, again, this isn't saying that if you're an agency owner, you have to do this. This is helping you to understand that these are the job title, or these are the job slots that should give you enough resources to get you to agency owner in a 3 to 6 month period. Okay, that's what that's designed for. If you guys want to build a legacy, again, I'm spending way more than this on my recruiting. So if you want to know why the Colburn agency is growing, why the Clark agency is growing, we're investing 2 to 3 times the amount of this into our recruiting. Okay, this isn't happening just because we happen to do something right. This is very intentional. We're extremely intentional, very focused on recruiting, how we're recruiting, tweaking the systems, tweaking the protocols. We're very intentional about it, okay? So if you're wanting to build a legacy, and my advice to you on this last one, guys, is this would be designed if you want to invest not only in yourself, but you want to also invest in people on your team, okay? So for me, I'm personally investing money in my agency that I am also allocating jobs to people in my team at no cost because I'm investing in my team. Okay, that's what this last one is designated for or really allocated for, okay? All right, now the next part, once you find the right job that you want, the right selection, then you're going to go through the billing process to set up your information, your bio, okay? You've got to have a bio for the Colburn Financial website. I'll show you what that looks like real quick, just so everyone can understand what they're getting here in this setup, in this protocol. One of the things that we believe that's very important in our recruiting process is branding. Branding all the time. We have to be branding, okay? So if you'll notice here, when you go to the Colburn Financial website, the team, the leadership team is laid out here. I have no idea why it's going so slow. But the leadership team here, you'll see all of the individuals that are on our website that are recruiting have their own just job descriptions, their own what they're doing, where they came from. You'll see everyone's laid out here, okay? If you're not on here, it's because you haven't set up a plan yet, okay? We don't put every agent on here. This is our leadership team. These are the people that are focused on not only building their own agencies, but are very intentional about building the brand of Colburn Financial, okay, through this process. So when you're looking at this part right here, there's an example. This is my bio, okay? It's not complicated. It's not super involved, but there's an example of what the bio would look like. You can look at other examples if you go onto the Colburn Financial website. Everyone's a little bit different, but you'll see everything's a little bit tailored towards the person, their personality, the items that are important to them. It doesn't need to be a massive, 4-page bio. It's just a short clip of who you are, how you got to Colburn Financial, how are you going to add value, why did you join the team, and what's important to you. And we want it to be a little bit personal, okay? We want it to be a little bit about you. You'll notice in my bio, the very top, I talk about, I'm married to my wife. I've got identical twin girls. I've got a couple of dogs. Here's what I enjoy. We want it to be a little bit personal, okay? So the next step is to, we go through picking the actual plan that you're going to utilize, along with helping you understand how to get $200 off of your recruiting budget, okay? And those of you that are already doing this, you already know it. Those of you that are going to watch this video in the future and join into doing this, this is what this part is. We invest in you if you're doing the right things. We do not invest in you if you're doing your own thing that's the wrong things, okay? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't innovate and be innovative in your agency. I'm talking about production, okay? So if you're recruiting and you have a recruiting plan, the agency will reimburse $200. So let me go back here and show you this starter plan is $200. You can get your entire recruiting paid for by doing the right thing. What is the right thing? Issuing a net of $10,000 of business the previous month. So if you joined this month, decided to do the $200 plan. If you issue $10,000 this month, okay, then you're going to get $200 off next month. It's always the previous month. We look at the previous month's production, okay? And it has to be net placed. It has to show up in Opt when the numbers come out in the very first week and a half of the month. Those are the numbers we go by, not what you think got issued, okay? It's real hard numbers based on Opt, okay? The next step of setting up your ZipRecruiter is picking the right jobs. Now, this section is going to be changed. Beverly is working on having this look much better graphically than just a bunch of words for you guys, okay? She couldn't get it done in time for me to release it today, but she is working on getting this done. This is the way our jobs read, and I will show you inside of ZipRecruiter what it actually looks like when an individual goes to it. You'll notice here that here's one in Tallahassee. We'll preview it just so you can see what it looks like. This is what someone else sees. This is our templated default. We have two default. They've been optimized. They've been actually written along with our account rep, okay, that has their own skills. They understand how things work. These have been written with their assistants, okay? I'm not a great writer when it comes to this stuff. Chris is much better than I am at it. There's a couple of other that we utilize that are also very good that Chris has put together. But this is the way it reads, okay? It's very streamlined. There's bold, there's specific reasons why things are bolded, responsibilities, qualifications. Here's what we offer for an individual. Make sure you're aware what's in this, because if someone's applying and you don't know what we have in the job description as far as what we offer and all that stuff, you'll get caught off guard a little bit. So here's kind of the details. Everyone that gets inside of ZipRecruiter, we all use the same Colburn Financial job description as far as a company description. So this information is the content that you see here in these different templates. So we've got two job templates, outside sales and this regional sales manager position, okay? So what you would do is you would check, hey, I want to utilize that one, I want to utilize that one, and then I also want to write my own, okay? Now, when you guys write your own, we encourage you guys to innovate, okay? But what we will do is we will approve them so that there's certain things that you're saying that shouldn't be said inside of the commission world, inside of ZipRecruiter, as well as it relates to Symmetry Financial Group. We want to make sure that we're kind of working together in that manner, okay? So you'll be able to write your own jobs. The other thing that we've got in here that you'll have to agree to if you're going to be a part of our recruiting system, again, guys, we're not saying this is the only way. We're just saying if you're going to utilize Colburn Financial and that brand and our cold market recruiting system, we have some expectations. Those expectations are, if you're a builder, we expect you to commit to being a part of our team. That seems a little simple, but you'd be surprised how many people want to plug in, but they don't want to always plug in, okay? So we expect you to, number one, be on the Thursday call group mentor session, number two, be on the builders call, and number three, be on the Monday morning calls. That's what we expect. And so we're going to have you acknowledge that when you set this up, that you understand those and you're committing to it. And what this utilizes and what's this utilized for and what we choose to use this for is helping us to mentor you. If you guys commit to using the system, you've committed to being a part of those, and then you choose not to be a part of them, this will allow us to help coach you through, hey, you committed to something, let's help coach you through following through on your commitment to the team and to the agency, okay? So again, any additional notes you can utilize here. When you hit submit, this submit button comes to me, it goes into a spreadsheet, and we have all the information we need at this point in order to set up your account, okay? Everything that we need. We should be able to get that account set up in about a week. Ideally, if we have all the info, we can get it done in a couple of days, and you'll be able to rock it, be able to just kind of keep moving forward, do the interviews, Now, there's additional items you'll want to learn. We're going to have some additional tips and tricks from our account rep here that'll be coming soon. But this one here is very important for you to watch, okay? This video on ZipRecruiter is going to be ideal for understanding the ins and outs, understanding what needs to be done. Those of you, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I kind of pass it off for questions. Again, I just wanted to unveil this for you guys to know that anyone can start recruiting. Anyone. Anyone can have a cold market system. You just have to fill out these forms, go through the process, and we'll go to work for you. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about as far as training, okay? If you're not utilizing this yet, you should be utilizing it. The audio and video on the training tab is by far the most useful place for you guys to get some additional trainings. These are where all of our mentor sessions, Builders Corner, Symmetry audio trainings, the items from Spreaker that gets uploaded on regular occasions. But I want to draw your attention to the Builders Corner. These are all of the items that are pertinent to you for learning the system beginning to end. And I know some people that have come in recently, they've utilized this. They understand it. They go straight in. Again, it's a very clear process if you go through these items. Yes, it's a lot of content, but it'll train you beginning to end on how we use it, why we use it, how to check things, how to schedule items inside of Visita, how to follow up on items inside of Visita, how to follow up in ZipRecruiter, how to do everything that you need to do inside of the cold market for ZipRecruiter. So that's kind of the unveiling of what it is that we've been working on from a system standpoint inside of the Build My Team page for us. I'm going to open up to questions, and then we'll go into the last part of the call on just answering some additional follow-up questions, just general questions. So what questions do you guys have specific to the Build My Team new landing pages?
Hey, Mike, it's Chris.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm not in jail. That's good.
Well, I told the team that you were Speedy Gonzalez.
Dude, it was scary. But yeah, he let me go. So what I was gonna say is I wanted to just add that, guys, this is a really unique experience and opportunity that isn't common inside of Symmetry. And Mike and I are always careful to say this in a way that is fully appreciative of other Symmetry groups. But you have to also just realize the really unique leveraged opportunity that you have working with the Smith brothers, part of the Pritchard hierarchy, but then working with Mike himself. This whole systemization and process, as well as the fact that Mike is willing to take it on the chin and us set up a system where he directly recognizes you doing what you're supposed to do and pays $200 for your job posting. That's very, very, very unique. This is the only group that does that, and I would caution people to not let this opportunity go by, but also not appreciate it for what it is. It is very, very, very opportunistic, and I would just say the system will flesh out people who don't jump in and aren't leading themselves, who aren't on those mentorship calls, which is one of the reasons why we made that a must-do prerogative, because we don't want to get caught in the system of being a Symmetry agency that just throws people in and doesn't have actual leadership. So, I mean, I was kind of trying to take notes. I think that's all I had to comment on from what you said.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Chris. A lot of work did go into this, but you've been pouring into it from day one. I know that this all started, with trying Indeed and then trying ZipRecruiter, and it takes a team to build this, right? So I appreciate your work on it, and I know Beverly as well has worked hard. Jen has worked hard on the contracting. I mean, we're all a team, so we're all kind of focused on the same goal. Here's the other thing I would say is this system is not perfect, okay? So I need you guys as a leadership team, as you utilize this, I need you to communicate with me on what is working, what isn't working, as well as you're going through some of the process, recognize that this is a fair, cold market recruiting is a fairly long process, okay? You might jump out of the gates and get a good hire, the first week. You may take a month and a half learning and growing yourself on how to interview, how to have clear expectations, how to set things up properly. It takes a good amount of time to pour into something. I know that I've been doing cold market recruiting for almost a year now, 10 to 12 months. I know exactly how to do this, and I'm almost positive when people don't get positive traction in this, it's generally because of them. They're not setting up the expectations clearly. They're not tracking the items properly. They're not following up during the process. There's something going on that's causing the system not to be as efficient. So just really hang tight with us on this. Make sure that you're communicating with us, that you're communicating with your upline mentor. Make sure that you are focused on the right items as we go through this, and that you're constantly learning the process. Now, I am always a fan of positive critical feedback. Always. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to hurt Chris's feelings. If there are ideas, if there are video content, if there is items that you feel would be a good fit to add into this process, please bring it to our brainstorm team. Please bring it to us, because we are happy to continue to build this out to be better and better and better and better. That is what we do as a team and as a leadership team. So really, I rely on you guys to give us feedback as you're going through this to make sure that we can make it as streamlined and as positive of an experience as possible, and efficient and effective for people that are investing their hard-earned money into the process of building their agencies.
And really speaking more transparently, as Mike says it's not something that we want to have someone come in hot, knee-jerk reactive and say, this doesn't work, that it's not always going to be perfect. There's always deficiencies in a system, and we're always going to work to continually progress to make it better. But it's a lot like using the virtual mentor. The virtual mentor is an amazing tool, and we should be so appreciative to have it. Sometimes it's not accurate, and that's tough. But we can't fix it if we don't get input on it, and we can't also just expect it to always be perfect. Systems aren't always perfect. There's leaky phlogiston, as the Greek philosophers would say, meaning that there's energy loss within the system, but we can always work to make the system better.
That's exactly right. Good stuff. I want to open it up to questions. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, it's Elzar. I got a question. I know you guys have the $200 reimbursement with the $10,000 issued for the previous month. Have you guys thought as far as further growth with the other plans, possibly putting something in place like that too, as agents build a team? Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. We have thought about it. The reality is that if someone's issuing $20,000, they're making enough income that they can pick that tab up on their own. And as a person, maybe hit agency owner and agency director, that's some point in time the responsibility of becoming an agency owner does reflect back on you, and you should be stoked to have the $200 compensation coming your way. So that's kind of at this point in time where we're going to cap it.
Good question. Again, the only thing I would add to that is, Elazar, if and when everyone that breaks out, you all can have your own plans on this. Like if Chris came to me and said, "Hey, Mike, I want to add to this. I want to do 200 as well. I'm going to match your 200. How can we set that up?" Like, I'm game for that. You guys can reimburse. I know that for me, I've set it up to I want to get you guys started. But what I don't want to do is empower you guys to pretty much have everything paid for, because that's not accurate from a business standpoint. You're not going to learn long-term how to manage the team's production and the team's expenses if we just give it all to you. So that's my response would be, if you as a team want to, the Santos team wants to be able to provide some extra incentives, I'll integrate those in, and we'll even tag them to your team on here, and we'll make them added, and we'll integrate that in. Totally cool. But I know for me, I personally am only going to cap it at the 200. That's where I'm at. Good question. Anyone else got questions? Ted, good question. Do you have a PDF of approved ads and postings? That is one of the items, and I don't have a problem sharing it with you guys. I do have the two, and let me just kind of make a comment on this. So on this page, when you go to the ads section, I'll go to the website here so that I can show you. In the ZipRecruiter account, we have purposely, not set up a corporate account with Symmetry Financial Group. We could have done that, okay? We have purposely not done that, and we have purposely not gotten their discount for their massive volume account, because it would force you guys to go through corporate to approve every single ad, okay? So we're taking it upon ourselves to do some of this with you. And by doing that, these I'm going to scroll down here. These areas here where these templated job postings, we're going to have an actual graphic to show you this is the actual template of template 1. We really only have 2 templates, and they're designed around agency builder or a regional sales manager or a sales manager. They're really all the same thing inside the ZipRecruiter world. And an insurance producer. Now, in all reality, you can write your own, okay? But you have to refrain from using certain terminology to get yourself into a discussion with the interviewee that feels like it's a hook and set, like you're hooking them with, making them feel like it's a salary job, but it's not really. It's a commission job. It's very clear in our job descriptions. Again, I'll go back and show you. It's very clear. If people can't read, they can't read, okay? If you go down to the bottom, this is uncapped commission-based pay structure. Like, there is nothing in here that says there's a base, okay? There is no way inside of ZipRecruiter the reason why we have plus commission here is because there's no way to tag it as 100% commission, okay? Except we just state it, commission-based, okay? We've stated several times. If they read through it, it's very clear. Uncapped commission, unlimited earning potential, okay? We've got compensation down here. We've got uncapped commission-based pay structure. It says it 3 or 4 times, okay? So we have to refrain from using items that are going to steer people into one item. We have to refrain from things that will allude to any kind of network marketing, multi-level marketing. We don't want anything to do with that, okay? Because this is not that at all, period. So as you're writing some of those, that's why we have on the website, and I'll just show you this here. These here, they're going to go through a process of being approved. So for the first time, you'd put first time. If it's a revision, you'd put revision, okay? So you're going to go through the process of having it approved, looking at it. I will probably, if you choose to write your own, I will probably point you in the direction of our account rep. Krista is good. She spent an hour and a half. She's a talker, okay? But she's good at writing these. So if you've got an idea and you've got it kind of typed out, you want to utilize it, you feel like it's a good concept, nothing wrong with that. We want you to utilize it, but we want it to be approved, and we also probably will encourage you to write the actual ad with Krista to help make sure that there's certain things that are in there that will help
and not.
Any other questions?
Hey, Mike, Mark Sincata. Not a question, just really a comment. You know, as a brand new guy, brand new to the whole system, I really appreciate everything that you and Elazar and everyone else are doing, the tools that you're providing for people who are on this call that may also be new and evaluating whether or not they should jump on board this and all the other resources available. You should. I will tell you that this is very unique in the industry. And shame on any of us who don't participate and push all of our chips in and trust the system. So, Mike, I want to thank you so much for allowing this to be available, for all the work and effort you're doing, and really look forward to this ride.
Man, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Ted, appreciate you too. You guys have really, kudos to you guys. You've plugged in day one, jumped into recruiting, leveraged the system. I'm very excited for you guys and excited for everyone that chooses to kind of follow after you yourselves. So I appreciate it. That's what the system's for. That's why we build it. We're here as a team. You know, we are not better than the sum. You know, as a team, we're better than the sum of our parts, right? So really appreciate you guys plugging in and really engaging in the system. And like I said, I can respond very positively. You guys have plugged in, and we're already seeing traction, already getting interviews from you guys. So just kudos to you guys, and appreciate you guys using the system, and let us know how we can make it better. That's what we want to do. Just continue to make it better. Any other questions? We got about 19 minutes left on our call, and we'll transition into different questions if we need to, but I want to make sure this is you guys' time. If you got questions about this system, or if we want to transition into questions about just cold market recruiting in general. Ted, I'm not sure that I completely understand that question. You'll have to probably prompt me a little bit more on that. All right, well, let's just go into other questions, guys. What are you guys hearing on your interviews? Sorry, I just got what you talked about, Ted. So let's go into some other questions. I want to hear from you guys, those that are doing the cold market interviews, warm market interviews as well. What are your biggest challenges that you're hearing? What are your biggest questions maybe from people that you're interacting with that we can help you with as far as giving you advice and kind of guidance on the interview process?
I got a question, Mike.
Go for it.
This is Ron. I mean, I'm looking at this as, you know, when I'm making my phone calls. I mean, if somebody's really not interested or they have other opportunities, I'm not trying to convince them. You know, I just let them know this isn't for everybody. And people who are interested, you know, come in, and then, as you know, a bunch of them don't even do anything once they're in. So it's, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. Is that not the proper approach? Are we trying to convince people to come on board?
No, not at all. And I'm glad you're bringing this up. I just was speaking to someone this morning about some areas are much more difficult. Some areas do come with a certain amount of skepticism and frustration, and they already look at the system in a negative manner. I would hold those people at arm's length. In fact, I would make them jump through multiple hoops in order to make sure they're a good fit for the culture. There's nothing wrong with questioning how the system works, but if you're going to come in and you're going to try to prove that it doesn't work, you need to go somewhere else. This system clearly works. We have many, 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 many people. In fact, I have yet to know anyone that plugs in that fails. I have yet to meet anyone, okay? So the system works. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit skeptical and questioning how it works, but we do not want to try to, it's not for everyone. In fact, I would encourage people to think twice. If someone comes in and says, hey, Mike, I'm your guy, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to make you millions. No, you're not. You're not my guy. And in fact, go somewhere else, because that attitude ends up very quickly becoming all about them. It's an ego-driven attitude. They end up trying to outprove the system. They end up trying to do their own thing. And I have yet to have anyone come in, say that to me, and have it go exactly the way they think it's going to go. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, fantastic. Because I had somebody the other day just said, you know what, I'm making real good money. I'm great at what I do. I'm not going to start at a 60%. And I said, this isn't right for everybody.
Yeah, my response to that, okay, there's some people on the call that we've talked about that. My response is a couple of things. First of all, everyone starts at 60, okay? Now, having said that, there are certain situations where we will make exceptions. And it's only in situations where you are bringing an agency or you are actively recruiting and bringing people in from day one, okay? Otherwise, you earn it. You know, and the reality is, in this business, if you don't earn it, you don't appreciate it. That's the reality. And so if you want an 80% contract, you want a 90% contract, go to Equus. I hate to bring up someone's name, but go somewhere else, okay? Because you're not going to fit in our agency with that attitude and mentality. It's just not going to be a good fit, period. And I've told people that, and you end up dividing people. You get really nice feedback, okay? But you also can get a very positive feedback in that they look up and say, hey, I value that, I appreciate that, we'll go with you guys because the culture, and I had, there's some people on this call I had this conversation with, okay? I would rather you be about the right fit for our team and be at the right contract level than go to another agency, be at a higher contract level, and have it be a bad fit culturally. It's not all about money, because if you're doing the right things, guys, you should get a 5% bump every 2 months in the beginning. So you're talking about a 2 to 4 month window. If you prove to the system that the system works, you're going to be there anyways. It's not a big deal. So that's really good stuff. Sean and Candace brought up something. I've got a good question here. Can you cover the dispositioning after interviews, first interview versus second interview, and tracking them properly? I'm going to pass this out to the team and let those that are actually doing some interviews, that have been doing interviews, handle this. And Chris, if you want to handle it as well, I'm going to pass this off to you guys before I give my 2 cents.
It broke up right as they were asking the question. What was the question again?
Cover the dispositioning after interviews, first and second interviews, as well as tracking them properly.
Yeah. Okay. So it's all still the same, I guess, degree of skill that you would have in doing appointments client facing, and that's setting and keeping a really high level of expectation that is very transparent. So whenever I wrap up a first meeting, I use the sit-up just like Mike does. Really glad that we found that. He found that, and it was revolutionary. Where you just let them know, and I can say that this is working, very clearly with Omar, for example. I'm talking this, and it works really well. You let them know, hey, at the end of this call, I'm going to send you an email, and we're going to schedule a second appointment. Same format as you did before. You're going to get the email. You're going to send a time. Or if the call is ending early, usually doesn't on a 15-minute call, but if the call is ending early, set the time right there on the phone with them. Have it be much sooner rather than later. You want to get back in touch with them really within the next couple of days, 2 to 3 days. just like you setting an appointment on the phone with the client. You know, expectation, quick turnaround. Set the time quickly, and then Visita tracks it for you. As far as that, if there is a person who just falls off and disappears into the woods, yeah, you can chase them down, I guess. But I said this before, and Brittany laughed at it. It's dating. It really is. If a person comes into the first date and they're wearing sweatpants and they just got out of the shower and their hair's wet and there's no makeup on, I'm not interested in going on a second date with you. I appreciate your casual demeanor, but I'm not interested. I need you to bring some heat the first date. That's the exact same thing. You don't want to chase someone down and beg them to date you, just like you don't want to chase someone down and beg them to work for you. They need to see the opportunity for what it is and have some interest. Second call is all about them. You tell them, as Mike said, bring some questions. I'm fine with a healthy degree of skepticism. I actually really appreciate people who have that degree of trepidation, because it means that they're taking the opportunity very seriously. If a person is easy to come in, they're very easy to go out. So be healthy with that. Let them know that the entire premise of that call is going to be answering the questions that they have around the system. You're going to speak to your experience. And then if possible, you're going to also try and have one of your mentors and one of the, agency leaders on the call as well to maybe answer some more higher level, articulate, mechanical questions that you may not know how to answer as well. I've said it time and time again, if I could spend the majority of my day just doing second round interviews for people in my team, I'd be as happy as a clam. And then the disposition of that one is up to you if they need a second or a third call. But from there, if you feel like it's a good fit and they feel like it's a good fit, Jen Colburn has done a really great job of setting up a PDF that all of you all should have downloaded to your computer. Let them know, hey, I'm going to send you a PDF. We're going to welcome you to the agency. Congratulations. This PDF is going to have step-by-step instructions on exactly what you need to do. I need you to do this within the next 24 hours. Can you do that for me? Can you go to this website? Can you download Slack? Can you register for your licensing exam? Again, keeping the expectations high, the process clear. The process will fluff out anyone who really isn't taking this seriously. And I've had that I just was in love with on the call, and then they just disappear. And they'll just break your heart. Guys, if a person isn't seeing this for what it is and just jumping on it, there's not much you can do, and you definitely cause a cycle of trying to sell for them. Again, a concept is just like you selling in the home. If you sell in the home and you're not providing the value concept, that policy is going to get dropped eventually. They're going to forget why they have this. They're going to forget the value. But if you can keep these conversations about them, show you the value, talk about what it's done for you. I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better man. Mike can say I'm a better business partner. All of this stuff has happened through working with these people, without a doubt. And you don't have a story? Steal my story. Steal Mike's story. Steal Brad's story. Steal Edward Pritchard's story. Take a story that relates to you and tell that one if you don't have it. But that whole same concept that we're going to transfer over from skills of expectations and process and making it a value-based conversation about them, that's the biggest thing that you can do. Mike, did you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, that everything you're talking about is spot on. I know a lot of this is covered in the Builder's Corner. So again, I would encourage everyone, all of those videos build on themselves as far as the process. There's a very good video that strictly talks about setting clear expectations that will cover a lot of the dispositioning of the first and the second. My only follow-up, and I'm going to share this real quick, and then I know Ted's got a real quick response, but I want to show you on the screen real quick just a couple of things to remind you inside of Visita, okay? When you go inside, those of you that are using this, great. Those of you that are watching this for the first or second or third time, I just want to show you every single time an item is completed, okay, when you complete an interview, you'll notice on the bottom there's notes. Talk about dispositioning, okay? Notes on the bottom here. I'm showing one that actually was a new one this morning that Ron took care of for me, because the guy wanted to talk very quickly, ended up not panning out, okay? There's a couple of things extra that you guys can be aware of with dispositioning calls inside of Visita. Set the expectations. Expectation 1, expectation 2, set those clear expectations. But as far as tracking people in Visita, utilize these tag tools. Utilize them. Put your own tag if you want to, okay? Cold market is something everyone should put. If it's in your base shop, do it, okay? The reason why we utilize these is soon as our new corporate overview comes out, as soon as that comes out, we are going to send out a campaign to every single person that is tagged in our system as a cold market potential recruit that has not been hired, and tell them, hey, we're super excited. Check out our new overview. If you're thinking again about an opportunity, please check it out. Let us know who you might, who might be of interest in this. It's going to be an email blast that goes out from Colburn Financial. We can do that through the use of these campaigns inside of Visita. But you guys have to be tracking and tagging items. Tag everyone as a cold market. Every single person in here that you utilize as a cold market. But those are the two other things I would say is add notes, add tags, and you'll notice at the end, and I'll show what Chris was talking about, at the very end of a meeting, you'll notice down here, you've got a 3-button tab that says take follow-up action. This person did not want to move forward, totally fine. If someone doesn't show up, mark it as a no-show. There's an automated email that you can just click send email. It'll say, hey, you missed your call, schedule it again. Take follow-up action is going to allow you to schedule another one or send out a thank you note, okay? So those are really the only 2 items. Make sure you're doing that with every single person, even if it's not a good fit. Guys, it's branding, branding, branding. Thank them for their time. Tell them good luck on their job search as they find the right culture, the right fit for them. It is branding. It's all about branding, okay? So, Ted, if you want to make a quick comment, I know you had a comment about the traditional agency model versus our model. What was it that you wanted to bring up?
Just real quick, I don't know how many on the call are coming from the insurance or financial services industry. Both Mark and I, that's our background. Remember, with the traditional industry, the average recruiter, manager, whatever, is hiring somebody for their Rolodex, their ability to take a no, get in a car, drive 90 minutes, and that's about it. They realize they're going to have about an 80% attrition in about every 36 months, and their job is just to replace the funnel. This is the first organization I've ever seen that focuses on the agent and the agent's success and makes that the foundation for how this is going to work. Remember, we now are offering a quasi-commodity. Every agency in the country has pretty much the same product we have with some kind of variation. The magic is not the product, it's us. And our ability to screen people to move into our culture, which is people-focused, not product-focused. If you haven't been in the industry, this is not only refreshing, it's unique. If you're trying to recruit experienced agents, they have gone through excitement, skepticism. They are now cynics. They have been abused. They have been lied to. They've been told they can have an agency. They can't. The average State Farm agency takes 3 years and about $300,000. Why would you want to do that? Keep this in mind. You can have a 6-figure income for the cost of a license. That is unheard of, and you have national reach. You can't do that anyplace else in the country. And then one last point, 60% payout. I would have cut my wrist for a 60% payout when I first got started because my overhead was running significantly higher. You can run your entire business off your phone. Okay, that's all I had.
That's good stuff, man. I wanted you to keep going. That's good.
That's great feedback. Hey, Mike, this is Karen, and I had to come on late, so I want to toss out one question. I firmly believe not chasing people is the right thing. At least I love that dating analogy. Whoever did that, it's like move on down the road. Once we get people on board, are there suggestions? I want to, in thinking about, and I'm coming from a brand background from another lifetime, but I want them to be successful when they come on. They have to want that. I can't want that for them. Any suggestions on, as people, I've got a couple of really good ones that have just come in. One of them followed up today. He's taking a test, Brett, and he's staying with me. Other ways to help assure their success. And I said, again, that has to come out of their own back pocket, basically. But any other thing that you would recommend from people who've done this longer than I have on just making sure that they come in and they're winners?
Yeah, so I will give you my short synopsis, and we can probably, I think it would be good for us to cover an entire session on this. But my opinion on it is, keep in mind that people are doing this because they are leaving something that did not fulfill their future destiny, their goals, their dreams. They're breaking away from something that has failed them and not helped them provide or help them not become the person that they want to. They're coming on board here because they see that solution in the agency, in us, in our leadership, in the model. They see that. So what I would tell you is encourage, you got to consistently go back to their why. You have to do a very good job as a leader understanding why people are here. What are they looking for? What is their fulfillment? Some people it's not money. Some people it is. Some people it's becoming a better father, a better mother, better spouse, a better, it could be lots of things, okay? Giving them more time. If you lose sight of their why as you're coaching the person, they'll go astray. They'll lose initiative to do what it is that we do because it's not connected to their why. So you got to consistently bring that why back. And I will tell you, one of the reasons why we added, okay, we're very intentional about stuff, okay? If you look at the combination to your safe, when they fill that form out, there's an added component at the bottom that specifically talks about their why. That should be. Now, it's interesting, as we see those come in, some people, it's just comical to me. I can almost tell whether or not they're actually going to succeed here based on how they respond to that question. Some people are like, well, I've got a lot of bills and I need to make more money. Awesome. That's not a very good why, but that's an awful why. Okay. So
yeah.
If you really connect with the individual on why is this important to you, how can I help facilitate that fulfillment? It happens through this agency, but a lot of times it happens in a different way, connected to different things. Okay. So my encouragement, and we can go through an entire training on this, I think we probably should, is how do you uncover someone's why? How do you continue to feather that into your conversations with people and your interactions from a leadership standpoint? That's very powerful. Continuing to keep the reason why they're here. People stay because of culture and fulfillment in what they want in life, not because of the money. That's not why people stay here. They stay here because of being fulfilled in life in general and the culture that we cultivate in them. And that starts with understanding their why. That's where it starts.
I think that's important too, and I'm sitting here and made some notes. Not only the retainment of them, but the initial drive and push not to quit is your why. And if you don't have a good, and I've struggled with that a little bit, a good solid why will make you successful and keep you here. Both.
Guys, I'll tell you why I've never quit. And I'll leave you guys with this. I'll tell you why I have never quit ever in the financial services industry, ever. I've never quit. The reason is because I refuse to teach my kids that quitting is an option. Period. Their father is never going to quit Now, if I choose to change direction, that's one thing. But as the father figure, I refuse to be a quitter. That's what drives me. When I was phoning on the phone, I attached a personal, emotional connection to that picking up that phone. If I continued to pick the phone up, I was continuing to provide for my kids, their dreams, their aspirations, the food on their table happened by doing this. The minute I stopped and I quit, they don't get what they want in life. They can't go to college. They can't have food on the table. They can't be able to do the martial arts and the extra things they want to do. It stops. It starts and stops with me. That's what I had to do to make that connection. And it's the same thing with anything I do in life. I do what I do to provide for my family and be the person that my kids can look at and emulate with pride. That's what drives me. And it's the reason why I'm so passionate about making this a successful option for you guys. That's why I have this drive. And you've got to uncover that inside of people. Matt and Brad know that about me. If they want to get me fired up about something, they bring my family in. They know that about me. That's how we function. And so we as a team, we have to get better acquainted with each of our whys. That's what we have to do as a team. We have to pull together. Jeffrey, why is this important? Omar, why is this important? Elazar, Ted, Ron, David, Farrell, Sean, everyone else on this call, why are you here? And if you don't know why, you need to start getting to know that now. And we need to understand it as a team so that we can communicate it, we can hold each other accountable. I don't want to be the reason why, Jeffrey, you don't get what you want in life and you fail at success. I don't want to be that reason. I don't want to be the reason why Omar doesn't get what he wants in life for his family. I refuse to be the reason. So it's our job as leaders to pull together, connect with each other, and understand the reason why people are connecting with this agency and holding them accountable so that they can get what it is that they want in life and their fulfillment. And guys, I don't have any better answer than that. That's where it's at. We've run out of time. Hopefully that was helpful. Guys, thank you so much for pouring into the system. Let me know if there's any questions that you've got as we kind of plug into this new builders page. That page is going to be up and running when you go to the site. I would say within the next 30 to 40 minutes, it'll be active on that link. When you go to the website, I believe it's under, give me a second here. When you go to the website and you go under training, and then it says build my team, that's the place that you'll go. And in the next 30 minutes to an hour, it'll be active, ready to roll, and you guys can plug people in and we can get the ball moving. So guys, I appreciate each one of you. Thank you for your time, and make it a great weekend. Enjoy the time with your families over the weekend. All right.